Welcome to Yoga with Leva. My name is Laura Kincaid, certified RYT 200 yoga instructor. This is a 20-minute postpartum yoga practice to help you stretch and strengthen your abdominals, back, pelvic floor, glutes, and leg muscles. If you've experienced diastasis recti, hernia, or pelvic organ prolapse, please avoid the abdominal portion of this video and always consult with your doctor before starting this or any exercise program after giving birth. If you're ready, grab your mat and let's get started. We're going to start today on our knees. Just come down to your mat, wrists stacked below the shoulders, knees below the hips. And we're going to inhale for cow, dropping the belly, lifting the gaze, lift the tailbone. And then exhale for cat, tuck the chin, draw the navel towards the spine. Inhale for cow, pressing away from the mat with your fingertips and your knuckles. Exhale, rounding into cat. Tucking the tailbone. Inhale one more time. Gaze lifts, tailbone lifts. And exhale, curling in. Tuck the tailbone, tuck the chin. And then go ahead and just freestyle a little bit here, following your own breath. Maybe exaggerating the movements. Bending the elbows a little more, rocking the hips back, arching the spine, just making this your own practice, letting it feel good in your body. And then bump the left hip out and look over your left shoulder. And then come through center, bump the right hip out and look over your right shoulder. And do this one more time. Bump the left hip out, gazing at the left hip. And bump the right hip out, gazing over the right shoulder. And go ahead and freestyle a little more, being extra dramatic, bringing the hips down almost through child's pose, all the way back towards the heels and coming forward, just making giant circles with the body and reverse directions, really getting loose. Great, and then as you finish your last circle, sit the hips all the way back into child's pose. Big toes to touch, knees as wide as the mat, arms stretch out towards the top of your mat. And we're going to work on some Kegel exercises. So squeeze your P muscles like you're waiting in a big long line at the bathroom. And hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And relax. 2, 3, 4, 5. Squeeze in and hold. 2, 3, 4, 5. And release. 2, 3, 4, 5. Squeeze and hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. And relax. 2, 3, 4, 5. One more, squeeze and hold that P. 3, 4, 5, and relax. Just letting your breath return to normal. One more big breath here. And then we're going to come up, tucking the toes and lift the hips up and back into downward facing dog. Shake out the head, ensure you're not carrying any tension in the neck, And then start to walk out your dog, just bending one knee and then the other, stretching through the legs. And then come to a place of stillness. We're going to reach the right leg long behind us. And then bend that knee, open the hip, and make circles, just lubricating through that hip joint in one direction and then the other. And then bring that foot up, step up between your hands. Back knee can be lowered or lifted. We're just going to rock a little back and forth in the low lunge, just working into that hip flexor on the left side. Deep breaths. And then drop the back knee, straighten the front knee, and flex your feet as you fold forward with a straight spine over that knee. Feeling that stretch through the right side, right back of your right leg. Big inhale here. Exhale as you bend the knee, come forward, tuck the back toes and step back into downward facing dog. Walking it out a little bit. And then we're going to bring the left leg straight behind us. Bend the knee, open the hip, and circling through that hip joint. Circling one way and then the other. Good. And then step that foot up between your hands at the front of the mat. And same thing we did on the other side. Just rocking back and forth in this low lunge, getting into the right side of hip flexor. Good, and then drop that back knee, straighten the front knee, and fold forward, keeping a straight spine. Big inhale as you reach further, and exhale, sink deeper into the stretch. Good. One more inhale. And then exhale as you bend the left knee, coming forward, step back into downward facing dog. And then go ahead and walk to the front of your mat. Take the feet as wide as the mat, or maybe even a little bit wider, so that you can sink your hips all the way down, as far down as is comfortable, into a malasana squat. And heels are reaching toward the mat. If you can't get your heels down, that's okay. You can leave them lifted. Maybe you want to put a blanket or double up your mat to give yourself a little bit of lift. And then just working side to side, working into those hips. Hands can come to prayer if you're comfortable, or keep them on the mat. And then just pause here. And bring the hands to the mat, straightening the legs into a forward fold. Toes point towards the front of the mat. Great. Inhale here, coming all the way up to standing, hands to heart. Step your feet as wide as you can, as wide as is comfortable, and turn the toes out at a 45-degree angle. Bend your knees. Bend the elbows, fingertips pointing up to the sky for goddess pose. And we'll do some goddess squats. So inhale here. And exhale as you straighten the legs, hands come up overhead. That's one. Inhale, exhale, lift. Inhale, squat. Exhale, lift. Inhale, squat. You're doing great. Squeeze the glutes as you lift. Inhale, squat. Exhale, lift. Inhale, squat. We're almost done. You're doing great. Squeeze those glutes. And one more. Great job. Now bringing the hands to the hips. Turn your toes in. And then turn your core on as you slowly start to fold forward with the flat back, coming all the way down to the ground. Hands can come out to the sides, to your feet, or you can walk them behind you, working to bring the head closer to the mat. And just take one nice long deep breath here, just savoring that stretch in the back body. And then exhale as you start to come forward, fingertips on the mat, halfway lift, inhale, exhale, back down. And then slowly we're going to come all the way up on an inhale, turning the right toes to face the front of the mat, opening up into warrior two, so that the left foot is now parallel to the back of the mat, and the arch of the the heel of the right foot is parallel with the arch of the back foot. Inhaling through center, exhale, switching sides. The left toes are now pointing towards the back of the mat, warrior two. Great, inhale here, exhale, inhale, coming through center, warrior two to the front of the mat again. Inhaling through center, exhale, left toes towards the back of the mat. Great, and then one more time, inhaling through center, facing the front of the mat again, pivoting into crescent warrior, setting up for Vira 3, warrior 3. Maybe widen the stance, and then bring all the weight into the right foot. Left leg comes out long behind you. Hands can stay at prayer or send them back behind you into airplane arms. Steady your core to keep your balance here. You're doing great. And then inhale as you slowly start to bring that left leg forward, knee to chest. Flex the foot. Inhale, exhale, slowly sending it back into warrior three, and then step back into crescent. Inhale, exhale, palms to mat, step back into plank, lower slow chaturanga, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Take one breath here, and then inhale as you bring the right leg up, step it up between your hands, and then inhaling through center, we're going to go straight into the other side, facing the back of your mat now, crescent pose. Inhale, setting up for warrior three, hands come to the heart, weight goes into the left leg, right leg out straight behind you. Good, inhale here. And then exhale as you slowly start to bring that right leg forward, knee to chest. See if you can do it without touching the mat on your way through. Inhale here. Great, and then exhale, sending it back, warrior three. Stay here for one breath. And then exhale. Trust that the ground is there to catch you, and step back into crescent pose. Hands come to the mat, shift forward, chaturanga, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Great job. Left leg comes up long behind you, step through, and inhale, coming up through center. Once again, facing the front of the mat, crescent warrior, palms come to the mat. One more chaturanga, upward facing dog, and then big toes to touch, knees as wide as the mat, sitting back into child's pose. We're going to go for those Kegels one more time. So squeeze and lift, hold that P for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. 2, 3, 4, 5. Squeeze and hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, and let it go. 2, 3, 4, 5. Squeeze and hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, and relax. 2, 3, 4, 5. Great. One more time. Squeeze and hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, and relax. Let it go. Breathing normally. And then we're going to come up, laying on your belly, long on the mat, prepping for locust. So clasp your hands behind your back, and then inhale here. Exhale and lift everything. Lift your feet, your head, your hands. Lift as high as you can, strengthening the back muscles. Hold, you're doing great. Hold, hold, hold. And then exhale, release, palms to mat. Pressing back through child's pose and come to seated, lying down on your mat. Stretch the legs long out in front of you. You're going to work on the abs just a little bit. So bring your right leg straight up to the sky and then release back down. Left leg pointing straight up to the sky, put it back down. And the right leg one more time, straight up, put it back down. Left leg straight up to the sky, place it down. And then we're going to try to do both at the same time on an exhale. Lift both legs up and then lower just halfway down to your mat. Inhale for 1, bringing halfway down to the mat, and then exhale, lifting them straight up for 2. Inhale, halfway down. Exhale, lift, only lowering far enough so that your lower back doesn't lift off the ground. If you're feeling your lower back starting to lift off the ground, don't lower your legs quite as far. And then now just hold your legs halfway down, lift your chest, lift your gaze, lift your palms, and we're just going to hold for a couple breaths here. You're doing great, getting strong, so strong, and release. Hug the knees into the chest, rock a little side to side, massaging the lower back. And then keep the left knee into your chest and just shift your hips a little so that you can pull it over to the right side of your body for a supine twist. And the left arm can come out long beside your body. Gaze follows toward the left side. Just taking a few breaths here to decompress. Good, and then slowly return to center, bringing both knees into your chest. This time send the left leg long and bring the right knee over the left side of your body, gazing to the right side. Feeling the nice stretch in your side of your lower back. Long inhales, full exhales. And then, as you feel ready, slowly start to come back up to center, both knees into the chest. And one last thing, let's do a happy baby. So bend your knees and see if you can grab the outsides of your feet. If not, grab what you can. Grab your ankles, grab your calves. And the idea is to just pull your knees down towards your armpits. Maybe playing with straightening one leg and then the other, rocking from side to side, whatever feels good for your body today. This is a really fun pose. I've seen babies actually do it in their stroller. Maybe you've probably seen yours too. It's really cute. You're like natural little yogis. But it feels good to open up through the hips. Long, deep breaths here. Oxygenating those muscles. Good. And then releasing the feet down to the mat. Flat on the mat, as wide as the mat. Drop the knees to one side. And then the other side. And then continue slowly alternating, windshield wiping the legs down as you slowly inch your feet down towards the bottom of the mat. And once the legs are straight, we will rest in our final pose, Shavasana. You might like to bring one palm to your belly and one palm to your heart. Just feeling the breath move through your amazing body who does amazing things like bring new life into this world. Thank yourself for taking the time to do this practice and nourish your body. And then as you feel ready, bringing both knees into the chest, slowly roll onto one side. Press yourself up to a seated cross-legged pose or any comfortable seated pose. Lift the arms up to the sky one last time. Bring your palms down to your heart, bowing, thanking yourself. Just a little bit of gratitude for all the hard work you do. I thank you for taking the time to do this practice with me today. Namaste.